You know, I've been wanting to do an actual review for quite a while. Like a full review of a game. So I challenged myself. I said, hey, me, the next game you play, do a review on it. So I did it. And the game I happened to play was Starbound. Good lord, I should have chosen a shorter game.
Starbound is a little title that made it out of the early access battleground, and overall, it came out relatively unscathed. First and foremost, Starbound is a crafting and exploration RPG, or as I like to call them, CAGs.
Come on, dude. Think before speak. Think before speak. We've talked about this.
To start off, Starbound has some pretty fun customization options. There are multiple different races and outfits to choose from off the start. The racial differences aesthetically are very noticeable in-game, which makes every decision feel like it was well worth it. There are also some dialogue differences depending on the race you choose. NPCs in the game may call you out differently or respond to your presence in a separate manner. But mostly, the change is bound to your own character's dialogue, such as when they scan certain objects in the world. Also something to note which is fun is that each race has its own different armor sets as they advance throughout the game. This helps ensure that not all of you and your friends are wearing the same armor consistently throughout your playtime. Mining in Starbound is similar, yet just different enough from others of its genre. In fact, it's a bit backwards from others. Pickaxes and drills are rather rare and break rather quickly, but are incredibly efficient at mining. However, you'll mostly be gathering your goods with your mighty matter manipulator, or which is of course the sound you'll be making while you mine. Now you can upgrade your mighty matter manipulator with an item that drops from chests and reward bags from completing quests. Upgrading this will be your primary way of mining, as you can increase the radius it can mine, the rate at which it mines items, allowing you to paint stuff. It has a wiring mode for circuits, and can even grant you the ability to gather liquid. The only downside here is that pickaxes and drills become rather useless pretty quickly, and something that was once a cool reward is now just vendor trash. This also sparks another issue with the pacing. Now when the game is played single player, besides the first couple of hours or so, the pacing is actually pretty spot on. The progression almost feels perfect, and this is where Starbound's pacing really shines. However, once you get into multiplayer, things change. Mostly because your trusty matter manipulator is getting upgraded as well as all of your friends' manipulators, so mining just goes by so fast. For example, myself and one other friend made a decently dedicated trip to a planet that had 3 new resources we needed. After a rather short time, we came back with more than enough ore to make each of us a full set of armor, multiple weapons, upgraded multiple crafting stations, and we still had more than plenty to spare for our other friends on the server. Now do keep in mind this only seems to be a real issue in multiplayer, but is also still hardly a major problem, to be fair.
So I mentioned earlier that this is a role-playing game, and that is where I think that the best parts of this game really lie.
So the premise of the story is that Cthulhu interrupted your graduation, and you're pretty upset about it. So you travel across multiple solar systems, spending incredible amounts of time gathering materials and killing countless amounts of innocent creatures to hone your skills in order to one day stand before him. To sate this bloodlust, you visit each of the race's unique areas, learning about them in order to go to each of their sacred places to kill someone or something incredibly important to them.
A true hero's quest.
On a serious note though, the boss fights in this game are pretty dang fun. All of them feel very different and can get rather intense. This definitely drove me to want to continue just to see what new crazy boss idea was to come next. There are also side quests throughout the game, but honestly they aren't anything to really write home about. Most of them are simply fetch and farming quests. Why hello there! Would you mind giving this to someone? Sure? Oh, why thank you. Now, do it again. Okay. Oh, what a nice person you are. Now, please, plant me a bunch of crap and return to me in the middle of nowhere with the goods so that way I can reward you with very little. Is this Skyrim? To be fair, there are some fun ones though, like the gangster penguins or the Florin hunting grounds. Yes, I did in fact just say gangster penguins. And yes, it's just as cool as it sounds. Something also worth noting is that your character and your ship progress carries over from single player to multiplayer, and vice versa. This is pretty awesome, especially if you're playing on multiple different servers with different friends, or sometimes just want to unwind and chill out by yourself from time to time. It would of course be blasphemy if I didn't at least mention the crafting. Overall, the crafting is pretty simple, and that's a good thing. Recipes you know are shown in a menu with a simple display of what is necessary to make that piece. You can learn new recipes by upgrading that crafting station or by finding the item in the world and gathering it. This includes food, building materials, and other items. The reason I say this is a good thing is because its simplicity allows for a very large scope. There are just so many items to make, more than I've ever seen in a game of this sort. I constantly felt like there was something more I could be crafting, or that there was something I could make to be at least a little bit more efficient, and I really enjoyed that. Oh, and the weapons. There are quite a few different weapon types in the game. Not only do these weapons have different types of stats or effective uses, but they also play differently. Some swing normally, others charge up for the big hits, others fire repeatedly, while others can be aimed with more precision, some are channeled effects, and most items even come with a special ability.
Overall, Starbound is a fantastic experience. If you're a fan of this genre of game, then you already know what you're getting yourself into, and you'll probably enjoy it. If you are a fan of RPGs, or crafting, or just exploring, then this is probably going to be a pretty safe bet. I hope you enjoyed this video, but if you'll excuse me, I gotta get myself back into Starbound for some band practice.
Pretty rockin' there.